So we go to our last pre-final of the 2022 BNL Karting Series season. Here's the grid for the DD2 pre-final on day 2 and the final race day of the season. Right, Paul Louveau and Ian Gepps, the two championship protagonists, are on the front row with Louveau on pole position. Carl Klebor, the outgoing champion, will start from the inside of row number 2 on P3, as Dominic Earls, his SP Motorsport teammate, joins him on row 2. Christoph Adams and Prit Sai representing the Netherlands and Estonia on row number 3, with it's an all-German row 4 with Michael Becker and Thomas Piet rounding out the grid. So after yesterday's drama in the final, where Carl Klebor had Ian Gepps right up his inside and then over the front of him as they go onto their formation lap, it has changed the championship dynamic. Paul Louveau was last year's Euro Trophy champion, but opted to run in the BNL Karting Series alongside the National Series, the Karting run over in France. And now this gives the advantage to Paul Louveau. Now, based on drop scores taken into consideration, that's the two weakest results that the drivers have had. Paul Louveau might have more to take away from drop scores, but has had better results. 4 wins at Marienborg and repeated the feat that Ian Gepps did here at this circuit back in April. And now the battle lines once again have been drawn. 2 titles have pretty much been wrapped up, with the rest still to be decided, and will go down to the last race of the season. Red lights on the starting gantry. Here we go. The DD2 Masters pre-final on the final race day of the season is about to get underway. Not this time. First full start of the race meeting. Well, we got up until that point. So they're going to go round for another tour once again. So based on calculations, Paul Louveau, with drop scores taken into consideration, is 3 points ahead of the man that's going to line up alongside him on the front row. So the only driver in BNL Karting Series history from France that has picked up a title by my research is Louveau's countryman, and in this class, Rudy Champion, who nearly became a 2-time champion last year, but last year on the final race of the season got excluded, and thereby handing the title to the man that starts P3, Carl Klebor. So the amber flashing lights for indicating a full start have been extinguished. The red lights back on their own on the starting gantry. 13 minutes plus an additional lap on the timer remains. Into turn number 12, the drivers crawl at a snail's pace. Louveau on pole on the left-hand side of your screens. Ian Gepps alongside on the front row. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? This time we're lights out and underway. Let's see who gets the whole shot going into turns 1 and 2. Gepps tries to hang it around the outside. Carl Klebor on the inside. Almost makes it 3 abreast coming through turn 2. And Louveau is already at the front. That's exactly the start that the Frenchman needed. So now Ian Gepps finds himself down into what is effectively 4th position. And that's going to give Paul Louveau the advantage he needs. But we still have 12.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Thomas Piet now trying to close on Christoph Adams, and looks for the switch back down into turn 10, and the 550 on the Prague chassis goes through on the Sodi car. The 555. Oh, new race helmet being, well, different race helmet. It's like saying it's a wardrobe change for Christoph Adams. Well, the bright yellow one yesterday, now the dark and intense one for today's serious competition. So Louveau leading the way ahead of Karl Klebor, with Dominic Hummels rounding out the top three. Michael Becker down at the tail end of the order. Pritzai rounding out the top five thus far. Christoph Adams finds himself in 7th position at the moment, which will pick him up 9 points. But Louveau starting to pull away. And this is the gap that he needs, because it now puts it in the favour of him with a 15-point advantage based on current drop scores. And Paul Louveau, all season so far, has not placed outside of the top 3 once. That's incredible consistency for the Frenchman. And there's Thomas Piet looking up the inside of Pritzai. That was through turn 7. And the German did get through. So Pritzai moves down into 6th place. But Louveau now starting to build a lead. We're close to finishing the first 3 minutes of this race. But Ian Gepps needs to get a move on right now, and the reason being is that he will be at a disadvantage, because if Paul Louveau does finish ahead of Ian Gepps, he takes 2 respective Rotax championships in as many seasons, and both of which I've commentated on. But Louveau now has a lead of over 0.8 of a second. And now, well, Ian Gepps has just found himself in 5th position because Thomas Piet has been flying up the order like a good one. I've seen Thomas Piet in action before, predominantly in the Rotax Max Challenge Germany that I was the commentator on for a couple of seasons in 2020 and 2021. And when he is on point, Thomas Piet will fly up the order. So now Ian Gepps finds himself, and it's slipping a little bit further away from Gepps, but he doesn't want to wish anyone any bad luck at all. He'd rather fight tooth and nail. And now Thomas Piet going up the inside. That's Dominic Hummels. Oh, some great moves from Thomas Piet in the first just over 5 minutes of the race itself. And now he's got to start reeling in. Karl Klebor. But Paul Louveau has just been keeping his head down and waiting to see what happens. But he's more concentrated on running his own race. That's what's very, very much the importance here. So we're just about 30 seconds away from the halfway point of this race. And Louveau has extended a gap over Carl Clebord to just about 1.1 seconds. Thomas Piet on lap number 4 put in the fastest lap of anybody of this race. 54.590. But now Ian Getz is starting to fight, and now he sends it like Daniel Ricciardo from absolutely nowhere. Ian Getz launches it up the inside of Dominic Hummels to now take what is 4th place. I think it's been a weekend for Christoph Adams to forget, because he's actually down in 8th position. He had technical dramas yesterday in the first race and actually parked it with about half of the race completed, and he's quite a way behind Pritzai in 7th position. But Louveau is calmly, concisely getting on with the business at hand, to lead and pull away and not to look back, run his own race, know exactly what he needs to do to secure this title. Eight minutes down, 5 to go, and Louveau is going the right way. Ian Getz went backwards, but has started to try and make a move forwards. He wants to keep this title open so that he has a chance in the final race of the season to put it all on the line. But Louveau is not taking any chances. His lead now is 1.5 seconds as Carl Clebord being hustled by Thomas Piet from Germany in the 550 Praga. So Christoph Adams on lap number 7 has pulled the Sodi Kart 555 into the pits and has retired. So 7 of the 8 drivers still remain on the circuit, as Clebord starting to pull away a little bit from Thomas Piet. So it's KR versus Praga. With just under 4 minutes to go. Paul Louveau has got a lead now. It's extended to 1.6 seconds. And this is going to be a very relieving sight for the Frenchman to see. And he carried that momentum through from Marienburg, where he won 4 wins in a row. He had a 2nd and 3 thirds here at Karting Genk back in April. And he's picked up so far a 3rd, a 2nd, and he's on course for his 5th victory of the championship season. But Carl Clebord is keeping Thomas Piet at bay with 2 minutes and 40 still to go. Clebord's going to be is going to fight right up until the bitter end, and apart from that, he's a damn fine baker as well as a racer, and it's good to have him as part of the atmosphere here at this championship. But also, what's more, the way things are going, this could put him in an opportunity to maybe go for the overall championship podium, despite what happens here this weekend. Louveau fires it out of turn 11 and runs quickly down to turn 12. Now, the gap last time around was just under 1.6 seconds. Has it extended? Yes, it has. It's nearly 1.8 seconds as Piet again. Oh, he fires it up the inside of Clervaux going through into turn one. Clervaux was wise to the move. He knows this track very, very well indeed. But Louveau, as I said earlier, is doing exactly what he needs to do. Stay calm, run your own race, and if you're at the front, you lead by example. Hit every braking point, hit every apex. We're going to go on to we're going to complete lap 13. We're going to have 3 laps to go, including this one, as the timer hits 60 seconds remaining. He increases his lead over Carl Clervaux to just under 2 seconds. Thomas Piet still rounds out the top 3 with Ian Gepps completing the top 4 positions. And at the moment, this is giving Paul Louveau a 15-point advantage based on the drop scores already taken into consideration. So Ian Gepps will need to win the final race of the championship season, and Paul Louveau will have to finish 16 points behind. But it may go, if it does go to a tie break, it's going to be close, because the thing is, Louveau would win the title on countback. Now Ian Gepps is trying to do his level best, as Thomas Piet has also got past Carl Clervaux in the meantime. Piet runs a little bit wide into turn 2. Ian Gepps is now trying to get past Carl Clervaux, but that's going to be easier said than done. Michael Becker now finds himself up into P5. But now the timer has expired. This time around, Paul Louveau will get the last lap board. And that means we are 1 race away from finding out who will be our 2022 DD2 Masters champion. Louveau has an extensive lead, and now Ian Gepps fires a shot up the inside of Carl Clervaux to now take third position. But our race leader now makes his way through turn 8 for the final time, as Clervaux looking to try and see if he can get through on Ian Gepps. He's not going to do the same mistake that the 502 did yesterday evening. But Louveau, 2 more corners out of turn 11. The 564 running on the red speed chassis from France. Last year's Euro Trophy champion out of the final corner. Paul Louveau, 1 step away from a title in the BNL Karting Series in 2022. Thomas Piet in second. Ian Gepps keeps the title hopes alive for 1 more race, rounding out the top 3. Carl Clervaux in 4th position, with Michael Becker trying to solidify his 3rd place in the championship standings by taking 5th. Dominic Hummels in 6th, with Pritzai rounding out the 7 strong that finished the race, covered by just under 10.3 seconds. And Christoph Adams retiring on lap number 7.